when is the time and the place for superventilation? And when I say superventilation, what does that mean exactly? Does that be like huffing and puffing? Is that what we define as superventilation?
Hyperventilation.
Yeah, hyperventilation.
Intended hyperventilation. Like I am literally consciously taking on the motion of, or
yeah. Which that's another thing I'd like to.
I'm intentionally over breathing.
Yeah, and that's another thing within the context of over breathing. There's also the potential of over nose breathing and over mouth breathing.
Oh yeah.
So that's another space I'd like to clear up as well, because I think there's a lot of like blurry, mercurial kind of floating information in this space, and a lot of people, holding breathwork classes and yoga instructors and such that have like a vague sense of what they're actually conveying with all this stuff, but I'd love to clear it up for myself as well. So that would be another potential bifurcation of superventilation or hyperventilation through the nose versus the mouth. So just kind of like putting a little like footnote on that. Yeah.
You want me to dive into that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So the mouth, you move more air faster. And that is literal. I can move all my air out fast, and I can move all the air in faster, versus that's double the time what it took my nose. Now, for me to move the air as fast as I move it through my mouth, right, I'd have to shorten the breathing pattern to where it's, now you're moving into things like Kapalabhati or Breath of Fire, right? Which are tools that are used inside the yoga world. They've been using stuff like this for 5,000 years or so, right? There's a time and a place they use them. Typically, it's at the end of these sessions that they've done, where they've had the breathing slowed and working into positions that are very difficult. That said, they both can have the same effect. One is going to take longer than the other because I am restricted with how much air I can actually move through my nose. So I won't exactly get the same biochemical effect as quickly with my nose, right? In typical fashion, right? But if I do 10 breaths, right, I barely feel a change, right? But if I do, there's the change.
And what exactly is the biochemical effect of hyperventilation?
So that is where we are shifting the pH into a more alkaline state. So we're offloading the CO2. So we're diminishing. So we're moving carbon dioxide from the bloodstream, right? It starts with the lungs, but it then it moves so fast that we're extracting the CO2, because the body doesn't stop producing energy. You die if that happens, right? So one of the byproducts of that energy, outside of heat and water, is CO2. CO2 is constantly being extracted through those capillaries in the alveolar beds of the lungs. So as I breathe faster, I'm removing that carbon dioxide faster, right? So I'm scrubbing that out while there's excess, all this oxygen still going in. It's the same amount of oxygen, right? Like at rest, an inhale through my nose does not have me absorbing any more oxygen than that.
Yeah.
Same.
Isn't it? Wouldn't you be actually absorbing less oxygen with the mechanics of breathing through your mouth? You're not going to be able to get the air as down low into the lungs.
Correct.
Comparatively.
For most of us. If you have trained enough with your primary breathing muscles, you're probably fairly, like I can pull it pretty quickly.
You can find it.
Yeah. But for those that do not practice stuff like this, no, they will not.
And what about
the chest?
And what about, so who would the hyperventilation be for? Because I think something that
Yeah. So if we go
in
back
the
to
realm
that
of,
arousal state thing and we just look at ourselves, right? And without diagnosing ourselves, like I try to keep people out of the diagnosis state and leave that to the therapists. But if you sit more in this depressed, kind of sleepy, tired state a lot, I mean, the first thing is why are you always tired? Are you not getting enough rest? The second thing is like you'd probably benefit from some superventilation to bring you back up. If you're having to do that all day long, that's an issue. That's something that needs much more digging and figuring out with what we're doing. But when you are in this more calm, tired, sleepy, or depressed area, doing some superventilation will bring you back more towards that neutral or focused state.
Hope you guys enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. If you did, feel free to tag us on the Instagram. You can find me at Aaron Alexander on there. Also check out the YouTube channel that is at Align Podcast. Subscribe over there so you get each week's videos and instructional content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for reviews. Thanks for doing you. I'll see you next week.